Welcome to the Peregrine Flight Pod. Welcome back to what I call the wake up call, and I'm your host, Mr. Peregrine. And today's episode is mainly for anyone who keeps waiting for the right mood, the right moments, even the right motivation to do almost anything, to finally make a move. So the truth is, as much as we don't want to believe it, but the truth is that moment may never come. I know it's very hard to believe but maybe, that moment may never come. Like, today's message is just called discipline over motivation. Let's go. The problem with motivation. What is the problem with motivation? So here's what most people don't realize. Motivation is unreliable. It's just based on how you feel, and you and I know that feelings change every day, not just women. Feelings change almost every day. One day you're hyped, the next day you're tired. One week you're consistent, and the next you're making excuses, just like myself. Last week I was at the gym every day. One setback, I'm in the gym every other day, So if your progress depends on motivation, you will always be starting over. But if it depends on discipline, now we've got something that might just last. But what is discipline? What is discipline? Discipline is basically just showing up. Even if you don't like it, just show up. It's not about being a machine. It's not about being committed. How can I define it? Discipline is like keeping a promise that you made to yourself long after the mood that you've made in has, passed. Like, it's gone. But you're still going. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm happy I'm going to the gym. And then now you don't feel like going to the gym. Go to the gym. You made a decision, then you honor it. Even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when nobody's watching you, So it's like, when you realize that I have zero motivation to do anything, like anything. Like, okay, I got so many things to do, but I just don't feel like it, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to create. I don't want to think, But I still have to go to work because I have to go to work, whether I like it or not. I need to get out of bed because there are things that I need to get done, whether I like it or not. In the gym, guess what? I pay. So I can't just pay for the gym membership and not go to the gym, Even if you just go there and do a few reps, it's just you showing up and keeping the promise that you've made to yourself. Now, that moment, of course, didn't look any heroic, but it was one of the most important steps that I think every person should take, just like get up. Because it is actually what, build trust with myself, not hype, but consistency. And as always, you don't need to be perfect, just be consistent. It's hard. Just be consistent, You're not going to feel motivated every day. Nah, you're not. But that's okay, because like I said, you don't need to be perfect. All you need is show up anyway, keep the promise, move the needle, and just go, man. Even if it's like 1%, even if it's ugly, just one beats perfect every time, But then how does one build discipline, even if you're struggling like myself? Let's try to make this practical, Here's how we can start to build real discipline. Number one, pick one, this is one non-negotiable thing, something small but consistent. Like, okay, every day I'm gonna walk for like 10 minutes. There's a guy I follow on Instagram. He posted something yesterday about his non-negotiables, and it got me thinking. Number two, make it visible. Put it on your calendar. Write it in your mirror. I actually bought a vision board and I put it in my bedroom, and I just started writing something. But the first question there was, what do I want? And for a few days I couldn't answer that question. So yeah, that's that. Number three, no debate rule. What does that mean? You don't ask yourself, do I feel like it? You just do it. You get up, you do it. Number four, you track it. Put a check mark every time you follow through, watch the streak build. And number five, forgive the misses, but like don't stack them. One day, sure, life happens. 2 in a row, you're building a new habit, and it's not a good one. So discipline feeds confidence. What do I mean by this? So when you show up for yourself, even in silence, it creates something very powerful. And what is this? Respect. Self-respect. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop outsourcing for your confidence from people, because you've earned it, in the dark when nobody saw. Get up at 5 a.m. if you have to. There was this other guy I also follow on Instagram. He said, when the weather is bad, go running. And it got me thinking as well. Like, when the weather is bad, a lot of people are indoors, right? But you're out there and you're running. It's like you challenging yourself. So here's the challenge for you and I, and I'm going to try to make it real. So we'll choose one promise that you're going to keep for the next 7 days. You can even write it on the board, write it on paper, and no skipping, no talking yourself out of it. I know this is going to be very difficult because, yes, life happens, things happen, but you could try it. Maybe 10 push-ups every morning, writing for 15 minutes, drinking water before you drink coffee, waking up without hitting snooze. These are small promises that build momentum somehow. And that's how everybody wins the long game. My final thought is that motivation might give you a spark, just like fire. But discipline is the one that builds a fire, actually, And it's true. People stay in the gym not because they are motivated every day. No, even when they feel like hell, but without any excuses, they're at the gym. They are at work. They are grinding. They're studying. For those who are studying, you're there. You want to pass the exam. You want to get those A's. You're studying. You're pushing yourself. So if you're tired of studying over like myself, tired of breaking those promises, I don't know how many times have I tried to start this, this thing, and there's always going to be something, but I believe that I can be able to stay consistent. You're tired to feel, tired of feeling like I have to be ready to do some things. So just stop waiting and start committing and stop showing up even when it's hard. Because it gets hard, really. It does. Why? Because the real power isn't loud. The real power is consistent. So that's it for this episode. Episode 6 of the Wake Up Call, which is discipline over motivation. If this episode has helped you shape your mindset, would you do me a favor? Share it with someone who needs a little push, and remind them that they already have what it takes. Once again, I'm your host, Mr. Peregrine, and I will see you in episode 7. Until then, try to keep the promise, build that habit, and trust the process. I know it's going to be hard, but I believe that you and I can do it. Hence, I'm saying that I'm also looking myself in the mirror. I'm out.